Hey there, friends. Is your ride getting old? Has your donkey lost a step or two in the last year? Are you tired of the same old bumpy ride on that old camel? Well then, come on down to Tony Malone's used camel lot. At Tony Malone's, nobody walks away, unless of course it's in a new donkey, horse, or camel that you buy right here. We've got the finest in the new and gently used beast of the burden, and because we finance on the lot, we can pass that savings on to you. Why embarrass yourself riding that old nag when you can ride into town with a brand new steed? Buy here, pay here. You know where we are. Right down on...
We interrupt this program for an urgent news bulletin. Sources are telling Jerusalem Eyewitness News that Jesus of Nazareth is dead. Jesus was convicted early this morning.
Hey, what are you doing?
Reading the news.
You interrupted my airtime. I paid for this commercial.
I'm sorry, Tony, but this is urgent news.
So, some guy's dead. Big deal. People die every day.
Not just some random guy. Tony, it's Jesus.
Jesus? The miracle guy?
You know him?
Sure. I loaned him a gently used donkey just last Sunday when he rode into town. You're saying that he's dead?
That's what I'm telling the people.
How?
He was convicted by the high priest and then sentenced by Pontius Pilate. He was crucified.
They nailed Jesus to the cross? They killed him?
Yes.
Wow. I can't believe that he let them do that to him.
I don't think he had a choice. They arrested him.
I know that, but they couldn't do anything to him unless he let them.
Why not?
Because he's the Son of God!
You mean you're a believer too?
You bet I am. Or I was anyway.
Well, Tony, if Jesus was the Son of God, why do you think he let them put him to death?
Rachel, Jesus said that he had come to save the world. I just can't believe that the plan is over.
Well, whatever plan he had, it's over. He's dead, Tony.
So was his friend Lazarus. But when Jesus went to the tomb, Lazarus came out alive.
Are you serious?
Rachel, I've never been more serious in my entire life. I saw Lazarus. He laid to rest, and I saw him come back to life. If Jesus can raise a man from the dead, maybe the plan is he'll raise himself.
Well, I gotta go.
Oh, Grandma, they did it again.
They did what?
They interrupted my show for the news bulletin. Sorry we interrupt your favorite cartoons to tell you that it's storming. I know it's storming. I can see the clouds outside.
Shh, Emma, don't get all upset. This is important news.
And more important than the time SpongeBob and his friends put together a marching band? I don't think so.
Yes, I do think so.
They wouldn't interrupt the football game on Sundays, would they?
Now that would make Grandma upset too. Interrupt my Bears game. That would be just unthinkable.
See?
But not as unthinkable as what Jesus did. Who would have thought that the Son of God would allow himself to be put to death? I can't even fathom how much love it took for Jesus to willingly lay down his life for you and me.
They came to a place called Golgotha. The word Golgotha means the place of the skull. They were mixed wine with bitter spices and gave it to Jesus to drink. After tasting it, he refused to drink it. When they had nailed him to the cross, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. They sat down and kept watch over him there. Above his head they placed the written charge against him. It read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." 2 rebels against Rome were crucified with him. One was on his right and one was on his left. Those who passed by shouted at Jesus and made fun of him. They shook their heads and said, "So you are going to destroy the temple and build it again in 3 days? Then save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests The teachers of the law and the elders made fun of him. He saved others, they said, but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross. Then we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him. He's the one who said, I am the Son of God. In the same way, the rebels who were being crucified with Jesus also made fun of him. From noon until 3 o'clock, the whole land was covered with darkness. About 3 o'clock, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, my God, why have you deserted me? Some of those standing there heard Jesus cry out. They said, he's calling for Elijah. Right away, one of them ran and got a sponge. He filled it with wine vinegar and put it on a stick. He offered it to Jesus to drink. The rest said, leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to save him. After Jesus cried out again in a loud voice, he died. At that moment, the temple curtain was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook. The rocks split, tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs. After Jesus was raised from the dead, they went into the holy city. There they appeared to many people. The Roman commander and those guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that happened. They were terrified. They exclaimed, he was surely the Son of God. Matthew 27:33 and 54.
People were expecting a warrior to save them, a hero like King David, who could defeat Israel's enemies. But Jesus came to defeat an even greater enemy. Jesus died for the sins of the world, for you, for me, for the men who murdered him. He laid down his life, and he became the greatest conquering hero of all history.